we want our Kenyans to be homeowners, right? That is what we're trying to do. We want our people to be homeowners.
You say they have different issues. I'll just enumerate one or two if you allow me. I mean, first, some say, why would somebody be forced to pay the tax, yet they may not necessarily buy into the plan?
That's where you're getting it wrong, because we are misleading people by telling them that it is a tax. It is not a tax. It is a saving. It is a saving and a contribution towards owning a home. All right? It is not a tax. And people, unfortunately, are called, it is not a tax. It is a saving, a contribution, right? That ultimately, even if you don't get a house, right, that money goes back to the individual.
Right.
Yeah? And that is why I talked about initially building and developing a culture of saving in society. All right? Okay?
Right.
So when we now are out there saying that we're taxing, it's like you're taking money away from people. That's not what we're doing, right? Okay. What we're doing is saying you're contributing, and ultimately your contribution is helping you become a homeowner.
Fair enough.
That is what we're doing.
Right.
Right.
So what do
choice?
Yeah.
Sorry?
It should be by
you
choice.
See, this is where we're saying, if you say by choice, right? We have had all these independent, and that's what I'm saying, you know, let's not go too far. All right? Let's not go too far. Right? I've just told you here, right? Gentlemen, we are living in a scenario where, as a country since independence, we have less than 500,000 mortgage holders. Less. I think it's actually probably closer to 200,000. Right? Right? And you can do this homework for yourself. Right? We have people, right? When you go and try and borrow for a house, you're given a loan for 5 years. My friend, 5 years. How do you repay, yeah? A loan for a house in 5 years? And this is what encourages all these corrupt practices. And that's why we're saying we have to build a system, right? Culture. Where somebody, and a culture, where somebody is able to say, look, I know I can borrow for 20 years because I know, nimetoka shule, nimepata kazi, I have 20, 30 years of work life, right? Then I can have an affordable mortgage, right? Now, if government doesn't get involved in that process, if all Kenyans don't get involved in that process, we continue with this system that becomes exorbitant. And that is why you don't have affordable housing in the country, right? So you need to actually look at to where we are coming from and where we are trying to go to. Yeah? And what we're trying to say is that if we want Kenyans to be homeowners, we must develop and build products, right, that actually make that possible, right? And that's what we're trying to do.
Mheshimiwa Rais, mojawapo
and like ni vizuri nimalize hapa. And that is why I'm saying we are not actually, even when people go to court, we're not forcing it, as you've seen. Yeah. We keep saying, kujeni tukae, let us explain to you, hivi ndivyo tunajaribu kufanya, hivi ndivyo tunajaribu kufanya, kwa sababu hii swali yako ni gani, shida yako ni gani, tunakuelezea. And the majority who have had the opportunity to be explained to, yeah, they actually begin to understand. Because you say, if you go to today's current mortgage market, as he's saying, the choice of individual, right? You tell me where you can get a mortgage today, yeah, at less than 30,000 shillings. How many Kenyans can afford that every month? And that is